We turn now to Biden's border crisis. According to new reports, the cartels are preying on unemployed U.S. citizens and recruiting them to smuggle deadly fentanyl into the United States. But how widespread is this? Let's bring in our panel to discuss. Our experts, Staff Lieutenant for the Texas Highway Patrol, South Texas Region, Christopher Olivarez. We were potentially going to be joined by our border correspondent, Jaeson Jones, but we are thrilled to have you here with us, Mr. Olivarez. You see so many things happening every single day, and hearing that more U.S. citizens are getting involved in smuggling fentanyl across the border. Is this something that has increased? Is this something that is new?
Well, it's been consistent. As you mentioned, too, it's more widespread. Of course, the Mexican drug cartels have been able to expand their criminal network throughout the United States, not just in human smuggling, but drug smuggling, especially now with fentanyl. Fentanyl is being mass-produced at record levels by the two main, most powerful cartels in Mexico, which is the Sinaloa cartel and the Jalisco New Generation cartel, which are mass-producing fentanyl at record levels, which is killing Americans at record levels. So now you have the recruitment of U.S. citizens that are also smuggling this deadly poison into the country by smuggling this drug into vehicles. Our DPS troopers, with the implementation of Operation Lone Star, we have seized over 422 million lethal doses of fentanyl that could potentially kill every single man, woman, and child in the country. And these are drugs that have been seized from vehicles, drugs that are smuggled in cars or in trucks. And our DPS troopers are stopping these cars and seizing these drugs. So when you look at the sheer amount of drugs that are coming across, even at the ports of entry, the amount of pills that are being seized by federal agents, that only goes to show you that more of this drug is being mass produced at record levels. And it's coming not only at the ports of entry, but also between the ports of entry.
Now, also, our border correspondent, Jaeson Jones, joining us. I believe we have him with us. Jaeson with us. Jaeson, I did have a question for you. One of the things you've talked a lot about is the cartel, those bracelets that indicate how much money is owed. And back in the day, back when I was much younger, when you came across the border, you were getting a new start. Whatever risk you took, let's assume you did it legally. You got a new start. But when these people come across, they're indebted to that cartel. How does that play out? Do they go to those people's homes, or do they threaten their family back home? And if they don't send the money, how does that work?
Yeah, Bob, good afternoon. It's good to be with you. And you're exactly right, because now these people are throughout our country, but yet indebted to a criminal organization in a foreign country. It really should be a terrorist organization. But the way it works in the dynamics day in, day out is in February of 2021, this was a major tripwire that the U.S. intelligence agency should have picked up on. Because what Cartel de Golfo first began doing before putting those wristbands on men, women, and children is they began moving their alien smuggling organizations throughout this country so that they could be the debt collection for Cartel de Golfo. So now what happened? They began moving these people into the country, putting bracelets on them, setting up a process where payments would be made back to individuals throughout this country. So now, the cartels had already done this with drugs. So they had that network firmly established. Now this is the new one. And this is the major adjustment from human smuggling into the trafficking of people. So they've got their individuals locally throughout our country, but at the same time, they know where these people's families are all over the world, because when they were in stash houses, Bob, before they crossed into the United States, they took all of their PII data and they validated on phones, many of them, in their database, who their mother, who their father was by calling them and validating it before ever putting a bracelet on them, so they can come into this country.
That's the way gangs work, by the way. In local communities, the gangs go out. They may not threaten the person. They threaten the person's family.
Of course.
And that's what they're doing.
I mean, you think of a typical mobster type scenario, and that's very similar as well. Lieutenant Olivarez, how can these cartels be contained or stopped? Because they just seem to be so immobilized, and they seem to be so organized and infiltrating everywhere. Is it possible to stop them?
Well, it's very possible. I think we have to look at, though, the fact that the federal government has allowed them to become even more powerful. They've become even more emboldened. They've allowed to, allocate billions of dollars off of human smuggling, the fact that we have an open border. So I think until we stop illegal border crossings at the border, then you could take away their profits off of human smuggling. Then you go after them, go after their profits, go after their assets, freeze their assets. But also, it also takes the federal government to put pressure on the Mexican government to go after these organizations. And most importantly, and Jaeson mentions all the time, we have to designate them as foreign terrorist organizations. That's what they are. If you look at the brutality, that's what they are. They should be designated such. And that's what Governor Abbott did last year, designating these cartels at the state level as foreign terrorist organizations. And of course, Jaeson knows a lot more as far as speaking on that, and also using the tools of national power at the federal level to go after these organizations. That's what we need to do.
All right, Lieutenant Olivarez, thank you, sir. And Jaeson Jones, thank you. You're in Mission, Texas. I was just checking, 102 degrees there. Woo. So we're in the heat of August, and it's also windy. So stay safe. We appreciate your work. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great to be with you guys.